Thank you for clicking on my video. I decided I wanted to talk about a dramatic experience I went through last October with a person that I thought was a friend. Basically, I met her through a friend group. She overheard me talking about how I love to visit certain countries like South Korea and Japan. I was chatting with other people. She came to me, it's like, so you want to show up South Korea? I'm going to October. You better decide now. I just kind of like constantly kept putting like pressure on me every time I saw her about it. I decided to go with her. I keep saying it happened last October, so I'm kind of trying, kind of like wording it about what happened, so it was quite difficult for me. So I was like, saying was that good? So basically, what happened was she was kind of very. We're going to be together for the first 2 weeks, and this is what I got a plan is. She kind of decided everything in the planning. She kept saying like, between the 2 weeks and 2 weeks that we're going to be together every day. We're going to be doing this, that, and the other. We're going to go touristing, like sightseeing. Basically, and I had a few other friends that were saying to me, like before I found like I should listen to their advice. I was like, to be prepared to be alone, and but I was like really keen to watch seaside first, so that's why I went. So I didn't kind of take in what they were really saying. I didn't kind of, more so less because the person I thought was a friend was very, very convincing, and she was kind of like, these are the plans for the first 2 weeks, and we were meeting up like not every week, we were meeting up like some days we meet up every week, some days we meet up every few weeks. And she was very kind of, just what we're going to do for the first 2 weeks, and we're going to have a great time, and she made me believe that we were, she kind of made me believe that we could do lots of sightseeing together, do lots of fun things together. Like on the first day we were supposed to go to see the main palace of Seoul, and rented handbacks together, and unfortunately she decided not to stick with our travel plans, but she did not communicate that to let me know in advance that she decided not to stick with our travel plans. And it was her fourth time going, so I'm crossing it out. It was her fourth time going to South Korea, and it was my first time. The first kind of sign I should have realised was in the airport when we were coming up to put suitcases through and get our boarding passes. I was like, she was kind of went ahead of me in the queue, she didn't want to sit beside me on the plane. I was kind of, oh, okay. I did think that was a bit weird. So we got like a big large plane that was kind of going from Dublin to the other airport, and from the other part to Incheon airport in Seoul. The whole, like on the first day I go up, I would also show them in the tourist hostel, and I went out to shop till breakfast, so I messaged her on WhatsApp. I know she didn't really reply back for like a good while. I was kind of sitting there waiting for her. I was kind of like, where is she? Is she okay? And she kind of rang me, and she WhatsApp, and she's like, I'm walking up a mountain, you go explore, whatever. And I was like, oh no. Because I kind of realised I got myself in a bit of a situation. And And the first day I was feeling kind of nervous because I only spoke very kind of basic Korean, and like she wanted me to share location meet up with her for lunch, and I went to a Korean barbecue place and I had Korean barbecue before, so I don't kind of know how to eat barbecue, Korean barbecue. So like I was asking things on show after I was doing Korean barbecue and things to Korean culture. She kept getting really annoyed and impatient with me about me being unsure, but it wasn't just that time. The whole time, most days she just got off doing her own thing, not let me know in advance. Like I said, most days she just got off and doing her own thing. She wasn't kind of let me know in advance, so communicating, let me know. She's very kind of, I'm doing this, you go do whatever. Her attitude was very like that towards me. She was not friendly towards me at all. And on the third day we were walking along the Hodman where I met up with her, she's like, get this bus to here and I'll meet you along the Hodman where we walk. She was really kind of wanted me to show me a Korean shrine, but I was really looking forward to seeing that. But unfortunately the whole way she wasn't being friendly towards me. She was kind of like giving out and like ranting to herself out loud. I was being a bit uncomfortable. The whole way. And when we got to the shrine, she was like, you go explore. And she just sat down and took out her phone and started scrolling on Instagram. So no interest in actually being with me, being in my company. Another time was an evening time because we met for a meal and I went for, it was very strange, the conversation. I'm really going to go into detail about say kind of very weird things to me and about me, but when it comes to Korean men and what kind of like her fancies are, like Korean men kind of weird stuff. I was like, okay. Oh. She later on the night we went to, on the way back to the hostel side, I wanted to get a tea. So we got flavoured tea, different flavoured teas. And yet again, she went to sit in the bench drinking like flavoured teas. Like iced teas, but like flavoured iced teas. Basically, I was just sitting like with the back half to me and was chatting to, had a friend I was chatting to, was on this like chat group, managed talking with me. I started after about 10 minutes sitting there, awkwardly sitting there for 10 minutes, so I was going to go back to the hostel. I had to be careful because it was dark and so on. I was obviously a safe decision than Dublin, Ireland. is in ways it's safer in Dublin. But Dublin is a very safe city. I'm saying it's safe, but it's not safe like Seoul is safe. I felt really safe and so. This was like at 12 o'clock at night. I walked back to hostel. I felt totally safe and so. Like as I was leaving, I said, make sure you get back to hostel safe. I was trying to fast food getting towards her. And then she just turned and she was like, I own these streets. I was like, okay. So I just like laugh. So I was just like, okay, bye, see you later. I left. And the first three times I met up with her for meals, I don't know if it was 3 times or more, that's I don't really keep count. But I'm just saying, like, she's very comfortable letting me pay for the meals. And so I'm not sure how many hamburgers, 3 or more, but I didn't really keep going down with them. Just it's kind of like after you say to like I found split it and paid separately. And she was like, oh, you want to pay separately? I was like, yes. She was, her attitude towards me the whole time, so she was the whole time I was there, and then sometimes I saw her, she was got very impatient towards me, very annoyed at me, like speaking down to me like in a way that was like bringing annoyance to her, which wasn't really nice for me. And then one time, I remember the time I was opened up during, like, I think it was day four, and I was like, I think I feel really anxious. I like to come to chemist to get to see if I got some homeopathy medicine. And it's like, she knows I was really upset because she wasn't aware I was treating me. I don't think, maybe she wasn't, I'm not sure. But like, she knows I was really upset, and I was like, trying not to cry, just cut it to me, and she just yelled at me, if you're gonna cry, just cry. Which wasn't nice either. That wasn't nice either of her to do, and also, I feel like that she was aware of it. I feel like that she was aware of her behaviour towards she didn't care. Because I was with her on the third day, she was kind of worse out, having a bit ranting to herself again. She kind of kept speed walking out of me, walking back between me, speed walking again, to ranting to herself the whole time. She did say to me that she never gave one F about me, which really upset me. I think out of the whole time I was with her, it was like 5 times, around 5 times. And we even to eating on to the hostel, staying in the hostel where she was, which is kind of weird that she won't stay in the same hostel with me a second time. Her hostel was like over half an hour journey from where my hostel was by bus in Greer. The whole situation was like, despite the situation I was in, I was able to video call my parents through WhatsApp on the second day. My parents are fully aware of the situation, and my parents are really kind, and my family, not just my parents, my family are really kind towards me. They're really supportive and really caring. And the second hostel, I also met a really kind Indian woman who was very understanding and very caring, and I hugely appreciate her kindness. It's like from the first hostel to the second hostel, all the people in the second hostel seemed to be much nicer, much more caring people. Like, I was able to talk freely about how I felt, how I was being anxious, and they were all really kind of kind and chatting with me and talking with me, and wanted to know what got my interest in Korea was and everything, and just about talking about everything. Which I really, really appreciate, that kind of kindness. Those people, and I always will appreciate that kind of kindness. Just say also, it was kind of like the whole trip was like she wasn't treating me nicely. She was, really, always really had some kind of attitude, angry and impatient. Was like I was being annoyance to her. What was it? I decided to cut my trip short. I was supposed to be there for 3 weeks. I decided to come home early. I was there for 10 days. I had to obviously tell her that I was leaving early because in the second week, she was going through what our plans were for the first week, and we was going to do next week, this, that, and the other. And even my experience the first week, that part was probably not going to happen. I think she just liked the idea of it, but didn't. That's something I don't know. I didn't really understand her why kind of. But apart from the negative experience at my first visit to South Korea, I do want to go back again, but I'm either going to go with a group of friends or go with the travel company to see it properly. Because I didn't get to see a lot of things I want to see the first time because of my first experience. But I also want to say that I was able to openly ask people for help. People were very kind, very caring about it. They're very understanding as well. And I really appreciate that also. I was able to use a translator going to chemists. Went into a few chemists, and I was able to go in and use a translator and tell them, look, I have really bad anxiety. And they were literally just like giving me purchasing medicine, and obviously I remember to bow and say 감사합니다 and leaving after I purchased the medicine for anti-anxiety medicine. As I said, I was able to also ask people on the streets, and I was like lost, or having to look for some bus stop to get a certain bus to meet my friend in the evening time, in a few of the evening times. And they were really helpful. They'd walk me to the bus stop and like tell me the bus to get and make sure to what bus stop to get off at, and like they were really kind. Like the level of kindness in South Korea is high. It's very high. And I always appreciate it. And yeah, despite my experience the first time being in South Korea and what happened, I still want to go back, and I know the South Korean people are really, really kind people. In my experience, anyway. Thank you from somebody that, and also since she's been back in December, unfortunately a few times I've overheard her saying my name, and I overheard her spreading lies about me to people in the same friend group. I know the friends that I know from outside the friend group, and I more so less chose to walk away in silence. And there's a lot of power in silence, and I know our behaviours. There's a lot more said about people about us by our behaviour, and I always think it's always best to walk away in silence. Just more so for my own inner peace, and I say that to everyone. It's always better to walk away in silence for your own inner peace. Because our behaviours always say a lot more about us, and people remember us mostly through our behaviour. So I always try to be caring and kind and understanding towards people as well. But what she did was not nice, and her behaviour is not nice. So I made the decision to let her go. I'm no longer friends with her since our experience in October. Like, I don't react to her behaviour, what she's doing, and I don't want to react to her words, because that would just upset me and cause me stress. So I want to let her go. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Have a great day. Bye.